What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is going to be your review for the Real Housewives. No, it's not. It ain't the Real Housewives. Nothing. It's Married to Medicine. Reunion Part 2, Season 7 Reunion Part 2. So we start this. Now this episode was a little juicier than the first one. So we start this one off with we have the showdown basically between Jackie and Simone. We saw the build up in the first episode. I brought that up about how they weren't sharing the dressing room, and Simone made a comment to Bravo Andy in reference to um, her being friends with Heavenly. And here's the whole breakdown. I ain't about to drag this out. The whole breakdown between Simone and Dr. Jackie and Heavenly is this. Simone and Heavenly been going at it. Heavenly is such a instigator. Heavenly is such a I don't even know the word. I don't even know the words I want to use because Heavenly just feels like she can throw whatever she want to throw out there, and everybody's supposed to just, oh, I'm joking, I'm joking, I'm joking. Everything you can't just say, oh, I'm joking, I'm joking, I'm joking. Now, Heavenly feels like Cecil tweeted at her, and so once he tweeted at her, she felt like she had every right to just kind of go at him, and she threw some stuff out there that Simone felt like was betraying her confidence. That she threw some things out there that Simone felt like she told Heavenly in private, and that it should not have been repeated. Um, she was hurt because she feels like, I think at the end of the day, she feels like Jackie should not be associated with Heavenly because her thing is, we've been friends for 20 years. We were friends before this even started. We always said that we would not let this show interfere with our friendship. We haven't hung out. We haven't done the things we normally do. I guess it's test. I guess they have to take every year. And she said they normally get together and study together for their test. And they haven't done that this year. And, Jackie said that, yeah, she said at the end of the day, she said, let's be honest, neither one of us has reached out to the other. And I will own my part in that. She said, but I have not felt comfortable reaching out to you and talking to you because there is a tension, because I did know you were upset with me. And Jackie's thing is, I love Simone. I love Simone with all my heart, but I also am friends with Heavenly. And she said, I would quit this show before I would allow my friendship with with Simone or with Heavenly be affected. And her thing is, and Simone was like, well, I don't have a problem with you being friends with Heavenly. And Bravo Andy was like, yeah, no, that's not true. Because the first thing out your mouth to me was about how Jackie was friends with Heavenly. And so I think at the end of the day, that's what it boils down to between the three of them. And when it was over with, they hugged, they cried, they stood up, and they embraced each other. And Jackie even said, she said, Simone, I know you. I know that you hold on to things and it's gonna take you time to let go of it. So I know this isn't over for us, but I'm hoping that you know where I stand and that I love you. And it was so funny. They panned over to Heavenly Honey while they were hugging and embracing, and Heavenly had the nastiest look on her face. It bothered her. It bothered her that Simone and Jackie were connecting. It did. Now, if I'm Simone, I understand where she's coming from. But I also understand where Jackie is to say, look, I'm friends with both of them. And I don't want to choose. But in Simone's mind, Simone's thing is, but if you are my friend and you were friends before you knew all these women, you should want to choose me. It shouldn't be a thought. It shouldn't be a brain. It should be a no-brainer. You should say, "Hey, she's doing my best friend wrong. She's doing my best friend's husband wrong, and we've been rocking for 20 something years. And at the end of the day, Heavenly, you seem like a cool chick, but I just can't rock with you like that." That's what Simone wanted, and there's a part of me that feels like that's what Simone should have got. I mean, I'm not with these women. I do not know the extent of their friendships, what goes on behind the scenes and all of that. But I understand 100% where Simone is with it. I really do. But um, I think if everybody comes back to the show next year, I think that's where I think we're going to deal with that. I think we're going to deal with that. But I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I'm so confident that everybody's coming back to the show next year. Now we'll see. Lord, then we got into the Quad Mariah fiasco. Look, I feel like every year they feel obligated to dedicate a segment to the friendship that was Quad and Mariah. Now, what I did find interesting, I think this is the first time that we've heard, not the first time, but probably in recent history, that we've heard Quad express sadness over the loss of the friendship. Now, she didn't say she wanted to be friends again, but she did express sadness over the loss of the friendship. So they started off with Mariah and Dr. Jackie and that whole podcast thing that they did, where Dr. Jackie made the comment about Mariah, she didn't say allegedly about Mariah using drugs. And I said that in my reviews. If you go back and look at my reviews, I said that one word would have changed everything. Mariah was not upset with Jackie because Jackie spoke on what happened. Mariah was upset with Jackie because Jackie did not say allegedly in front of it, which in her mind gave the impression that she believed what Quad was saying about her using the drugs. Now, we talked about they talked about the follicle test, and in Quad's mind, she doesn't believe it. She feels like it was staged. She doesn't feel like it's real. And Quad's thing is this: I know what I saw, and she even expounded upon the story a little bit more and said that Mariah didn't, when she walked in, Mariah was shocked and tried to play it off. That she said she was so upset that she was crying. And she said she sat on it for so long because she allowed Mariah to beat her up verbally for many years. And she just didn't say anything. She didn't say anything. And she said she was just tired. And she was fed up and she retaliated. And she also threw it out there to say basically, like, look, I told this T. I know a whole lot more stuff that I haven't said. Don't push me because I will. And that was basically, she threw that threat out there to say, look, don't push me to tell more of your business because I got more business to tell. Then, of course, they got into the whole Lake situation and her sleeping with Lake's husband and all of that. And of course, Quad is like, she said, I didn't sleep with a married man. I didn't sleep with him. I didn't sleep with him. They talked about the wedding again, how they were all in the wedding. And then Mariah, her defense was, well, we were just trying to give you a second chance. We were trying to give you a second chance. So they went back and forth. Y'all know what they do, honey. They got to arguing and yelling and back and forth. And at the end of the day, Bravo Andy said, look, does anybody here believe Mariah did drugs? And nobody raised their hand. Even Heavenly, who rides for Quad and really don't rock with Mariah like that, said, I have not seen it for myself to know it to be true. Because at the end of the day, that is a very serious accusation to throw on somebody. That's why I believe that Quad believes it. Now I don't know whether it's true or not, but I believe that Quad believes it. Now I do believe that. Um, then um, then Bravo Andy said, "Does anybody here believe that Quad slept with Lake's husband?" And nobody believed that either. And so Bravo Andy was like, at the end of the day, even in the midst of all of this other stuff, at the end of the day, nobody believes either story. So we can sort of just kind of move on and let it go. Nobody believes either story. Um, at the end of the day, honey, this Mariah Quad thing, it just is what it is. It ain't going nowhere. It ain't gonna change. It ain't gonna stop. They're on this excuse me, they're on this show together where they have to be around each other in each other's presence. And until one of them leaves the show, this is just gonna be what it's gonna be. I mean, it just is what it is, honey. So ultimately, we know there's not going to be any resolution to the Quad Mariah drama, but and we didn't really get a resolution to, because if you're not, I mean, people could get a drug test. If you don't believe the drug test, then what's the purpose? So I don't know. Now Quad did say she was ready to take a lie detector test. She said she was down for a polygraph test, honey. And Mariah did get the him and Han, but then Mariah got around to, because at first she was like, "Oh, this is so ridiculous. You didn't believe a drug test. Why would you believe that?" But then she did eventually kind of say she would do it. But her first reaction was sort of like, huh. But anyway, and they got to talking about the shade that they throw at each other, in their confessionals. all the different things, shady things they've said. And it came back around to a comment that Heavenly made about Quad's butt being fake. And that damn Heavenly said, look, Quad's butt is real. I was just joking. Why everything can't, why y'all can't just take a joke around here? And then she gonna say, I mean, all of us up here have done something to enhance our, has had some sort of cosmetic surgery, whether it be out of necessity or for beauty. I say, well, damn, we're just telling everybody's business. Why you gotta tell everybody's business, Heavenly? Anyway, um, that's pretty much that. And then they brought the men out. They ain't really say nothing. They talked about going to the strip club, and Damon was saying how he thought it was real funny, how all the women were targeted at him, and heavily in the back to my son, yeah, because they sent them women over to my husband. They sent him over there, and I said, oh Lord, here we go. But Damon said that he had a good time with them. And Cecil, none of the men knew to the extent of this sip and see party. Even Eugene, who knew about the party, but he said, I thought the men were just gonna be models. They were gonna like be up on the stage modeling. I ain't know it was gonna be interactive. And now Curtis sounded like he was a little disturbed. The rest of the men act like they didn't care, except for we know Daddy was pissed. But I think Daddy was more pissed because Heavily didn't tell him more so than what went down. But Curtis didn't seem to be too happy about the situation either. And Cecil said, "Look, I believe that all is fair. The turnabout is fair play. So going to the strip club wasn't a big deal. He didn't feel like it was an issue. After what the women had done. I agree. I agree." They talked about Greg, and Cecil was saying how him and Greg are still friends. Greg misses hanging out with the guys, and Greg misses Quad. He said Greg still spends a lot of time when they're together talking about Quad and how much he still loves Quad and all of that. And then they show Quad in the back getting very emotional and getting upset and crying and everything. Um, then how did it start? Because I want to make sure I get this right, honey. Because I want to say, I don't know if Bravo Andy started asking Cecil questions or whatever about the comments that the tweets and stuff that go the tweet war between Cecil and Heavenly, but somehow or another they got on it, and I don't remember. I want to remember how exactly it came about, but neither here nor there. They were backstage, and Simone and Heavenly got to talking about Cecil again. So Simone was like, I think she called Cecil a bitch or something like that. Simone said, what we not gonna do, we not gonna be calling husband bitches. And if that's what we gonna do, if you wanna drag Cecil, I'ma drag yours. And so the two of them got into it. And then Heavenly, she got to calling Simone all kinds of bitches and this, that, and the other, and bitch this, bitch that. And they actually had to physically remove Heavenly from that room. So, honey, that's where it ended. That's where the episode ended going into next year. So I don't know. Oh, they were talking about the incident where they were calling where Contessa was calling them bitches, calling Eugene and Cecil bitches, and they got into the whole bitch versus Mitch and all that, and it evolved from there. But baby, that's where the episode ended. The two of them got to arguing, yelling back and forth. So anyway, honey, I'm sure that's where part 3 is gonna pick up. Y'all know how these reunions are. The best part was there was some good stuff in part 2, and that part 3 is gonna be because they're gonna talk about contestant Scott, and they're gonna finish up this whole argument. So we're gonna see how it all plays itself out. Um, we'll see. We're gonna see how it all plays itself out. But the guys, I do like the fact that the guys have this great friendship and they can talk to each other about everything that's going on. I really do. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.